Hello, 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 hello. I'm here. Finally. Man, it was a long week and a very long day at work. But I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Let me make sure everything is working. It's weird that I don't get like my own notifications. Um, oh, I don't know why it has the wrong title on here. But oh well, we're here. We're here. I don't know why it's all set up weird because I did update it. I don't know, but I'll fix it later. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. We made it. I know it's like super late, but we made it. We are here. How is everyone doing? Make sure I got everything set up. Okay. Okay. I think we're good. Um YouTube made some updates. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but like the updates it's making is really messing me up. So I think this is working. Let me know when you make it into the chat. So I know you're here. Also, feel for oh man, choking. Feel free to go ahead and put your numbers or your topics or anything that you'd like to talk about in the chat also. Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm glad it's working because OBS looked like it update and YouTube looked like it update. It is messing up. Hey, cousin B, thanks for being here. Hey, Judy, thanks for being here. All right, here we go. All right, so what should I put on this list? Let's start our list. Because I know, oh, I was feeling like I forgot to do something and I know what it is now. Isn't that always the case? Like after I start, then I remember. um, but I did want to talk about December energy since this is the first week of December. Is there anything else? I did also because I know last week we'd started talking about birth charts and like the planets and stuff on the birth charts, but we didn't like get into detail. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit, just generally. Um, so we'll do birth charts also. What else? Anybody have any numbers? Any topics that you want to talk about? Ah, yeah. Okay. Yep. 222. I love that vibration. Oh, that's cool. Okay. Yeah, that's a good one. We could talk about that more cuz then we could talk about 222 and we could talk about like angel numbers in general. I know you do, Judy. So go ahead and start trying to put them in the chat now. Because you know it's going to take a minute. It's going to take a minute for you to get them in there. While you do that, I'm going to, now that I remember what I wanted to do, I'm going to pull up. What am I pulling up? Oh, yeah. Man, work jacked me up. I'm so out of it. I'm going to pull up December because we need to talk about December energy. So let me pull something up. so we can get our little charts and stuff. Okay, here we go. Okay, cool. So let me make sure we can actually see this. Okay, what am I doing? I'm so out of it. I hope I don't say something really crazy today. I mean, it could happen. And it'll be okay too. All right, let's put um this December calendar in here so we can talk about that. Why is it so small? There we go. Better. All right, so we'll talk about that. And then I'll wait and get your numbers, Judy, and we'll talk about those. We'll add them to the list. Because you know I gotta have it on a list or I'll forget. All right. And then let me just put Judy's numbers on here so I don't forget. I'm finding out I really like to have this list so I can mark stuff off. um, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, so 261. Hey, Josh, thanks for being here. Yeah, I do see them. I think because they're part of a sentence instead of just by themselves. 261, 212, and 551. Hey, Chico, thanks for being here. That's awesome. Woo! Goodness. I don't know what energy is coming in, but something is hitting me in the heart space. Woo! That means there's going to be some messages and some stuff that's going to happen that's going to open up that heart space today. Let's get ready for that ride. Hi, new beginnings. Thanks for being here. Okay, so first, I'm not going to say it. Maybe I will. First things first, I'm the realist. Just so you know. So first we're going to talk about December. I can't even believe we're in December. Like like time started moving really fast after September. It seemed like things were really slow until September, like walking through mud. And then after September, things just started moving really fast. And now here we are in December. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Chico. Please hit the like button. All right. So for December, we have an interesting mirror effect that's happening. So if you remember when I talked about October, so right after September, where from January into September, we had like this big, huge build up of energy. And then when we got to October, it was really about examining the mirror. It was like up until September, um the energy was building and things were cleared off. Oh, hi Lex, I'm glad you made it. Thanks for being here. And so then you could see in the mirror clearly and had to like look at that reflection. So October October was when October was resonating at a 19, 10, 1. And it was making this mirror connection with 91, which is the numerical vibration of the word mirror. And so this mirror really was all of the energy that was building up from like January until September, flooding into the space and making it so you had to look at any of that energy that was coming back around. So, like that reap what you sow energy, karmic energy, reciprocity energy, like what all of that is what we were seeing like in the mirror. So it's like the from 1 until 8, so January until August was like building up all this energy, and then September cleared off the mirror and cleared that energy, and then it was put into this mirror where we had to now look at it and face it. So in October is when we started having a lot of this having to face, take accountability and responsibility for past stuff so that we could clear it out. Here in December, we're getting a mirror again because December is our 12th month, but it's resonating at 21. And so we again have this mirror. But what I'm seeing is that this is like we're seeing the reflection of what's to come. What's coming up as an example is the never ending story when Atreyu had to look in the mirror and it was like himself, but late it like showed him the future and could he face his future self. So in October we were facing our past self and clearing those things out, and now here in December we're having to face our future self because we're given the opportunity to make shifts and adjustments and changes to make sure that our future self, the reflection that we're seeing of the vision that's coming, now is the time to make some of these adjustments to make sure that that's really what you want. If you looking in that mirror and the vision you see for the future is not something you want, now's the time to make those changes, especially because we're still in this 2025 9 energy. And so it's very easy to end things, but also to shift things. So to make a shift, to shift that energy into the future. Okay, let me catch up in chat. I'm sure you all are just chit-chatting and saying hello and seeing everybody, which I love. But I want to make sure I'm not missing anything that's important. Because I do hope you're putting in any numbers or topics or questions that you have so I can add it to my list. And if you haven't, please feel free to do that. All right. Man, my heart space is still like, it's like a different kind of energy coming in. Because usually the energy comes in through my headspace. So then I know it's more about like opening the way we think and what we can see through our eyes and then our third eye and opening the ear space. But tonight it's coming through the heart, which means it's something about opening the heart space. Very interesting. Okay. Yep. Chat. Rumple. Hi. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here. We are talking about December. So December really overall is very much this reflection of the future to come. And so this is our opportunity to use this nine energy. So this very much this nine energy of helping to end things, but also shift things, and in preparation for the future. Now's the time we can do that. So use this energy to really look and reflect on what is to come, because then as soon as January comes, now we're stepping into 2026 energy, and we're not going to have as much access to this nine energy. So this is like the preparation for stepping into that 2026 energy that'll be very much about one. So we do have 4 portals in December. We just passed one. We had one earlier this week. So hopefully you all got my message about that. So on the 3rd, on the 12th, on the 21st, and on the 30th is where we have portal days. Now, portal days are a day where the way that the energy is moving, it allows us to be able to both pull in more energy to be able to use it for what we need to use it for, but it also allows us to be able to release energy much more. And so this is a time, these portal days are actually a really good time. So if you do your reflection of what you want to shift or change, or even what you want to enhance, looking at that future reflection, then on these portal days is where you can pull that energy in to be able to help with some of that. We also have 2 9 cycles. And so the 9 cycles are where we're moving from a 1 energy all the way around in a cycle to a 9 energy. And this is where you can build the energy up. This is where you can it's like adding fuel to whatever you are trying to put that energy towards. In this case, in December, we really want to be putting that energy towards preparing for this future vision. So being very aware and intentional about what is coming in the future, what is our future vision, what is the reflection we're seeing for the future, and being able to make those shifts and changes and end things that need to end. So with the 9 cycle energy, you can build up the energy that you need to be able to use it towards this. It's similar to the portals, but here you have a lot more control over how you're building the energy. And so the first 9 cycle actually starts tomorrow. So it's good we're talking today, tomorrow. Oh no, Sunday. It'll start Sunday the 7th. So we'll talk today and we'll talk tomorrow. And then on Sunday, you could start using this 9 cycle. So it goes from the 7th until the 15th, which would be the 9. And so you could set um, some intentions or some goals between these days that, and you want them to like build on each other because that's how this 9 cycle works. So you can build on it. Oh, okay. So this 9 cycles starting on your daughter's birthday. Interesting. Okay. Okay. We should we you let me know when you're, if you want me to, or when you're ready to look at her energy, and we can. Um and then the second 9 cycle starts right away on the 16th. And so you can use these 9 cycles separately. You could use these 9 cycles separately, or you could use them together. So you could set like intentions or goals to be able to build up through one 9 cycle and then continue to build up through the second 9 cycle. It really just depends on how much energy you need for what you're trying to do. So when it's something like you want to change something that is like from your past, like distant past, you want to change how you feel about something because of an event that happened in your childhood. Those types of things you need lots of energy for because it usually takes longer. And so there's a longer duration there. And so it takes more energy. So it's like the difference between taking a short trip in the car to the store or taking a road trip, like to another state. Each of those takes a different amount of gas. And so if the energy is the gas that you're putting in your tank to be able to get to your goal, then you have to think about how you can use these 9 cycles. So if it's a short trip where it's like, oh, I just want, to change really how I'm this one little habit that I started doing, because I do that sometimes, where I have like a weird little habit that started like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, why did I start doing this? This is weird. Why did all of a sudden it matter that I put my shoe on the right foot first? So for those little kinds of things, you can break it probably with one 9 cycle. But if it's something bigger, you'll want to use both 9 cycles. And even because every month has 9 cycles, sometimes you'll want to use multiple months 9 cycles. It just depends on how much energy you need. So this second 9 cycle starts on the 16th, and then it goes all the way here to the 24th. So those are our two 9 cycles that you can use to build up energy. Okay, let me catch up in the chat and make sure I can reach my water. Oh yeah, here it is. And then we'll see what else we need from December. Well, because I put out those videos, but let me know if you have any questions about December too. Okay. Okay, new beginnings. Well, let me put her birthday over here on my list so I don't forget to look at it. And I don't lose it in the chat. Ew. I don't know why, but I don't like that these aren't all the same color. Okay, there we go. All right, so I think it's 12 7:04. Make sure. Let me check and make sure. Yes. Okay. Great. All right. Let's see what else I missed. What else did I miss? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's okay. I'll put it on the list. I'll put it on the list, Nunu, and then if you're here when we talk about it, then we'll talk about it. And if you're not, then we'll just save it for another day. So no worries. Okay, that makes sense. I understand. Yep, just let me know what's going on and how I can help and support you. Okay, let's see. Anything else we should talk about for December? We have all of. Okay, so most of what you need is all in those videos that I put out. But the one other thing that I want to make sure to talk about is Chiron. So we have a couple of times where Chiron is coming into play in the energy. Like Chiron is coming in and is its energy is adding to what we're experiencing. So you know it's kind of like the full moon that we had yesterday. So we had the full moon peaked yesterday. It's still kind of going right now. Um where they they call people lunatics because the full moon can activate and have people acting a little bit out of their mind. It's like a surge of energy that is harder to control. And so you can look like you're out of control or feel like you're out of control. Um, it's the same kind of thing with all of the planets. It's just that the energy that they're bringing is something different. And so Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's about the wounds. And so what is happening here in December is we have Chiron coming in. So Chiron equals your wounds. And so we have Chiron coming in. Um yes, I agree, Judy. That was enough. We have Chiron coming in at the same time that we have this mirror up that's showing us a reflection of our future. It's showing us the vision for the future. And this now means that part of that reflection is seeing the wounds, but not just seeing the wounds. These are actually a really strong opportunity. So there's lots of opportunity. So whenever we see the aspects, so like if you watch my monthly videos and I talk about a trine or a sextile, what? Why aren't you writing right? There you go. Or a sextile, both of these are like the energy of an opportunity. So this means that here in December, we're getting an opportunity to be able to see our wounds clearly. So we can use this 9 energy to end them or to shift that energy. So we can shift the impact that these wounds are having on us, or we can end how they are impacting our lives. So, like, for example, one example that like everybody has, I know we all old enough to have this example, that you have one relationship in your past that was so horrible. And it doesn't even matter, because if it was like when you were super young and now you look at it and you're like, that really wasn't that bad, I just thought it was in that moment. Or if it, really was that bad, it doesn't matter. If it's impacting you in a way that is creating a wound, then you create mindsets and behaviors around that wound. So if something has happened in a relationship in your past that then you're carrying on into your future, where every time, maybe at somebody in your past, in a past relationship, you got into a big old argument because they called you a dog. Oh, I think about some of my past fights, and I'm like, what? Why did we fight about that? That's so dumb. But whatever. But what happens is, in that moment, it creates a wound. And so now, every time you even hear the word dog from a significant other, it could trigger you, and then you could, that impacts how you respond and how you interact with that person. So even if it's like your significant other coming to you and being like, oh, I think we should get a dog. Now you're flipping out because that dog word has triggered your wound. It has poked the wound. And so, what we have an opportunity for right now is, because we are able to look into the future, in this December mirror, we can look and see how are our wounds impacting us. How is it changing what we think, how we feel, how we're interacting with people, how we're responding, how we're treating ourselves. And these are things that we can, end or shift. And the shift is just changing them even just a little bit. And so we have multiple opportunities, in December, to really focus on these wounds and make some significant changes to how these wounds are impacting our life. And most likely, even this week, even as we're just starting December, you have seen or you will see how a wound is impacting your life, and it makes you pause this time where other times you haven't paused. Today is the first one of these opportunities, where we have Mars is in a trine with Chiron. And so Mars is masculine energy. So here's where we can, now see what kind of wounds we have impacting our masculine energy or our interaction with masculine energy. And we can begin to make some shifts in making sure that wound is not impacting us in the future. So masculine energy can be within yourself. So masculine energy within yourself is going to look like action. So how, is your action that you are taking being impacted by wounds? Is an opportunity now to shift that. It also can be how you're interacting with people that are presenting as masculine, because we all have both feminine and masculine energy in us. We just have it in different amounts. And so it's how we're interacting with that masculine aspect. That's today. And that'll actually go through this weekend. So you have this whole weekend to really take advantage of that opportunity and clear some of that. We also have on so next week Sunday, this is the Sun trine Chiron. Oh my gosh, I think I'm writing this like behind my face. Oh no! Okay, let me move it. There we go. The Sun trine Chiron. And so this is an opportunity just for your wounds in general, because the Sun is going to be highlighting, like putting a spotlight on the wound. And so this is a day, and usually lasts a day or two, this energy. So this is a day where you can really see how those wounds are impacting your life much more clearly, and you can take the opportunity to end them and also to shift that energy so it's not impacting your life as much. Then on the 18th, we actually have Venus and Chiron together. So now here's where we get to the feminine aspect. And within yourself, the feminine aspect looks like, how do you receive? Are you able to receive? Are you able to so like actually being in touch with your feminine side is more about how you're able to receive and attract, and how you're able to be patient instead of taking action. It also is that feminine aspect of how you interact with those that you're perceiving as more feminine, or you're feeling as more feminine aspect. Then on down here on the 27th, Saturday the 27th, this is where we have Mercury and Chiron together. So this is where you can really make some changes in how your wounds are impacting your communication. So if your wounds have you acting out of pocket and saying some crazy shit to people, this is a good time to be able to work with that. But don't be going and telling nobody else that's what they need to do. This is all for us as individuals. And let me tell you, when I first learned this, it was the hardest thing was to not go and be like, ooh, I see your Chiron. Your wound is showing. Yeah, don't do that. That's not helpful. Don't do that. It's not helpful. Keep the focus on you. So on the 27th here is where you can really examine how your wounds are impacting your communication with yourself and with others. Because a lot of times when we have like negative self-talk, that's some kind of wound impacting the communication with ourself. Thanks for being here. I'm glad you made it. You've been gone for so long. So these four are where we have an opportunity to work with Chiron. We also have one time here on the 21st. where this can be that our wound is exposed. Because here on the 21st is when we have Jupiter. Jupiter is square Chiron. And so when we have a square, square equals tension. So what is happening here is there can be some tension or some anxiety around your wound. And because it's Jupiter, it's expanded, it's made big. And so on the 21st, maybe mark it on your calendar because this is when your wounds can get expanded and they can show their ass. So we got to be careful. We need to mark it on our calendar. Do not show my wound ass on this day. Because this is the day that if it's going to happen, it would happen. And if you're not aware, then you can't be intentional in how you work with that. So we have these 4 times where we have opportunities to be able to end how these wounds are impacting us and impacting our life. And then we have one time, kind of in the middle of these, where the wound is going to, it's going to get poked. And even though your initial reaction is to knock somebody out for poking your wound, let's not do that. Let's, breathe 1, 2, 3, woo, woo, woo. Breathe 1, 2, 3, woo, woo, woo. And be in awareness of what's happening so we can make a different choice. Because it's really just to show us so then we can really be able to not have that wound impacting our life. But yeah, dealing with Chiron and these wounds, yeah, they could be different. Okay, so I think that's all I have for December. Let me know if you have any December questions, if there's like a particular date that you want me to look at, or you have questions about December in general. If not, then we can move on. I do need to mark a very important date on here. It's so important. Right here. This is the most important day in December, the 23rd. Because that's my birthday. It's my birthday on the 23rd. Okay. So now that we got that marked, we can let me look in the chat. See what else. Okay, let's see. Yeah, it's my birthday on the 23rd. Don't ask me how old I'm going to be because I'm at that age. I'm like past the age where you have to like think really hard to remember how old you are. Because you don't feel old or young. You're just kind of like stuck on the in between. But by the 23rd, I'll figure out how old I am and then make sure to tell you. It's 40 something. I'll figure it out. All right, let's see. So, yay! Yes, we can party for me. I will do that. Um, Judy said the 8th. All right. So you understand, Chico? I don't know. It's something about like, and I think it started happening after like 35 that all of a sudden I didn't know what age I was. I could never remember. And so then my daughters would I would just tell them just if people ask you how old I am, just tell them I'm like 29.99 plus tax. I think we have changed it now where now it's 39.99 plus tax. But still I don't know. And who cares? Yes, I'm glad it's on your calendar, cousin V. It's gonna be great. I hope I don't fall asleep. Sometimes I get so excited, then I like get my energy so revved up, and then I fall asleep, and then I miss all the fun. If that happens, you'll just have to have extra fun for me. Yes, exactly, Chico. It's like some kind of weird shift. Okay, any other dates? So I got the 8th for Judy. We could look at my birthday too and make sure it's a good turn up day. Oh, we don't have to look at it. We already know. It's going to be great. It's going to be the best turn up day ever. Thank you, Josh. I'll help you practice how to do that. Yeah, you can call me. Everybody will be calling me. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, sorry, I fell asleep. It be happening. All right, so let's look at this date on the 8th. So, there's always two ways to look at a date. So you look at it in general, and then you could look at it specifically for yourself. Okay, I'll add that, Judy. And so what we do is similar to what we do when we're looking at a life path number. It's actually the same. Um, so first we add up the year. We just use it in a different way. So we know we're in a 9 year, and then we add the month and we add the day. And this gets you the general energy for that day. So this is the energy that everybody on that day is experiencing. Got my handy dandy calculator. And so on the 8th, it's going to be a 29 day. That then if we do 2 plus 9, we get 11. And we go and we get a 2. And so on this day in general, everybody is going to really be feeling this 2 energy where it really is about ending dualism. So on this day, you could see more of like what these extremes are. You could feel more of the being pulled back and forth. And that's really what it's coming through just on this general energy. It also is because this 11-2 is coming from 29. That means that we have an enhancement of this 9 energy for the year. And so it really would be about ending or shifting some kind of energy. But then we have another 2 here. So it's ending or shifting energy. It's ending how we're thinking. It's ending how we're behaving. It's ending how we're doing something in order to be able to end dualism. Get rid of the back and forth. Get and it's even beyond just like being on the fence for things. It's not making a choice. Ending dualism is not just making a choice to be on one side or the other. Ending dualism is actually accepting that both choices exist, but neither choice is the best choice for you. And so it's examining those choices and taking the pieces that do work from you from both sides and creating something new. So that's the general for this day. This also is the second day. So this is the 2-day within a 9 cycle. I don't know why you decided to move. I didn't tell you to move. So this would be the 2 in that first 9 cycle, which makes it more important. So, in a 9 cycle, if the 1 is to bring in the new energy, it's to bring in the new idea, the new vision. The 1 day is when you're planning. Then the 2 day could be like when you're looking at the pros and cons. And you're really looking at these two sides. So this is actually a pretty powerful day. And then if we want to look at how we'll go at how this day impacts you, or how you should be specifically moving on this day, because how it's impacting your own energy. So then we take the 29, which is the day vibration. And we add your birth month. Not moth. Does anybody have a birth moth? I thought so, Judy. So then you add your birth month, and you add your birthday, not the whole day, just the day number. And so if this is your birthday, you still would do it this way. So if your birthday was December 8th, you would just take the 29 plus 12 plus 8. And that gives you the vibration of that day while you are shifting into a new vibration. And so this energy adds up to 49. I don't know what's coming up. There's weird stuff coming up on the screen. This adds up to 49, which then goes to 13 and then goes to 4. But you see that we still have this 9 here. So there's still an enhancement of this 9 energy, of needing to end or shift. This 4 energy is there, where it's around the foundational things. And so on this day, this is very much that vibration of transformation that changes the foundation of things. Which makes even more sense if this is your birthday, because now you already are having a big energy day, because your birthday is when you're shifting out of the previous year energy into the new year energy. So for those of us that have December birthdays, we're still in 2024 birthday energy until we hit our birthday, and then we move into 2025 energy for our energy personally. We saw some of this when we looked at GNX on its birthday. That up until that point, up until November 22nd, it was still in 2024 energy. It was still driving that energy through. That's an interesting thought, Josh. What do you say, Judy? You want me to look at it? I'll get some water while I wait. Okay. I thought so, but always gotta ask. You gotta ask for permission. Can't just be jumping in people's energy and telling all their business because the universe be telling all your business. All your business. All right, so let's look for Judy specifically. If we do 29 plus the birth month of May plus the birthday of 16. I Come on now. I I know I don't, but I do cuz I know it's all right with you, but I'm not breaking any of these rules of whatever these gifts or powers or abilities are that I have. That's asking for trouble. I'm not trying to get swallowed up by a whale or something. All right, let's see. So if we do 29 plus 5 plus 16, we get 50. A 50. Look at that. It's a 5 day for you, Judy. So I wonder what you're supposed to do with the dualism. Maybe make some changes or recognize the change or see the change. But also, what actually is coming through is that 50 is the numerical vibration of the word joy. And so, more than just resonating with that 5 energy, it really is about being joyful and like it's like embracing the change in a joyful way. And you're able to do that because, yep, exactly, Josh, because you have this um God energy here that's going to help you do that. So it is like, don't worry about being in control. Try very hard to not be in control so that this God energy can come in. It can help you be in this joyous place so that change can just happen effortlessly. Because that's really joyful change, is when it happens without you even trying or trying to force it or trying to control it. Oh no, I got the hip ups. Oh no, I got the hip ups. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. All right, cool. So anybody can do that if you want to look at a particular day. And then if you want to like bring in here any of those numbers for a particular day to have them checked or to have me read them, then please do. Okay. So we looked at December. What was the other number I was adding? Is it three nines, Judy? I think so. Let me know if it's something different. Okay, so I think I'm gonna skip birth charts, not forever. Okay, thank you, Josh. But I think we could talk about this 222 real quick. Um, yeah, we could talk about this 222 real quick because our conversation of birth charts is gonna be kind of long. I already feel it. It's like big. Like, oh, great. We got to prepare for the final right now. We're not even through the semester. But oh well. Okay. So let's talk about 222. So 222, I love 222. We just talked about 2 where 2 really is about ending dualism. 11 is more about balancing between these two extremes or these two sides. 14 is about mixing the two, not and like they don't fully mix. It's like mixing oil and vinegar where they're both in there, but you have to keep mixing it to actually get them to be together. 2 is literally creating something new from the two extremes. So from the two sides, it is creating something brand new. And so this is like momentum of that. Like it's ending dualism in multiple areas of life and in really big ways. Because we have this 222. And it actually when you end dualism in multiple areas of life, it creates a brand new comfort zone. It brings you a sense of comfort because no more are you getting pulled back and forth or you having to choose between the two sides or are you trying to be at one extreme or the other when neither extreme is good for you. The so 222 is the numerical vibration of the opportunity. So the phrase the opportunity. So we already talked about the opportunities that we have around our wound in the month of December. 222 also is the numerical vibration of the phrase why did it have to be so long when I can't spell? Unconditional acceptance. So think about what that actually means. So it's like a pure acceptance without it being like I accept it because no, there's none of that. Or I will accept it only if. None of that. It's complete unconditional acceptance whether you understand or you don't. Also, 222 is the numerical vibration of vibrant. vibrant numerals. 33. Yay for me. And so the other thing that I want to point out, oh, yep, and we can include that, Josh, is that this also is one of what people tend to call angel numbers. Actually, all numbers are really angel numbers, because all angel numbers are is it's a way for the universe to get your attention. Um, but it's one of these angel numbers, and it really is for to get your attention. And so even with all of like the sixes coming in, whether it's coming in as 666 or it's coming in multiple times, whenever you have those repeats, it's the same thing. It's an attention getter. It's trying to grab your attention because there is a bigger message coming in. So even if it's seeing this 222, which adds up to 6, seeing 6 or multiples of 6 multiple times in a row or together is still acting in the same way as if you had these all together to get your attention. And remember what I always say, if you are seeing a number or vibration multiple times, you want to make sure that you are documenting what you're talking about, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, who you're talking to, whatever you can in that moment when you are seeing these numbers or feeling these vibrations, because they are really meant just to get your attention. So then you could be drawn into the deeper message. It's the same way, like if you have a song repeating in your head. So, like a repeating song is actually the same thing as seeing these triple digits or seeing the same number over and over again. It's to get your attention. And so then you pay attention to what part of the song is really coming up. If it's the whole song that's repeating in your head, then it's probably the theme of that song or when the last time you heard it and like with who. If it's just a part of the song, then it's usually a particular word or phrase within that part of the song that contains the deeper message for you. It's to get your attention so that you can get the bigger message, so you can connect in with the vibrations and get the bigger message. Okay. Woo! I thought it went away, but now it's back again. There's big heart energy. Man, oh man. Our hearts are growing today. Hey, like the Grinch. That's so funny. Okay. Ah. Okay, Josh. So there's definitely something there. And so if it's a song, sometimes I'll get like a scene from a movie and that they'll just keep popping up in my head. Um and what I will usually do is like, especially if it's a song, I'll look into like the story behind the song, or like listen or like read an article or listen to an interview where the artist is telling you about the song, because then you can pick up some more of these deeper messages. because you're experiencing and feeling the vibrations that were put in that song or in like that movie scene. Oh, I couldn't find the list and it was right here. Okay, so that is 222. All right, so now let's look at birth charts. And so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to put anybody's specific birth chart up because I'm sure you've heard me say it before. I think I said it for sure when we were like looking at like Kendrick Lamar's birth chart and Tupac's birth chart. Like your birth chart is it holds part of your very personal energy. And so it is kind of like being invasive. It's like sitting and looking in somebody's windows. So you really should be getting permission. So I always feel a little squirrely. Um, yes, I said squirrely about looking at other people's birth charts. So what I think we'll use we can use well you tell me cuz tomorrow is hip hop, but we can either use hip hop's birth chart or we could use a birth chart we haven't looked at before. I have, let's see. I have the United States birth chart that we could use. I also have the African American nation. So the group of people, the nation of people that are from the interactions between Africa and the United States of America. So those enslaved people. So which chart would you like to use? While you decide and put it into the chat, I will no, I'm not using your chart. I'm not gonna be all invasive. I'm not gonna be out here telling your business. It's all gonna be full of fives anyway. While you decide which chart I should use, um, go ahead and put it in the chat what you think. I'm gonna do a little bit of explanation of how we should be looking at these energies. So, um, pretty traditionally and typically, we are told that like our horoscope and our astrology is primarily based on our sun sign. And that like your astrology chart, your birth chart like tells about your personality and whatever. Like, okay, yes, but there's more. So, where like right now, most of us look at our birth charts and the astrology chart more as like it's more like a fun little game. Um we really are supposed to be using it more to learn about ourselves and to gain a level of awareness about ourself and our energy, our contribution of that energy to the larger world, and how that energy is impacting our lives. Um, and also, like, how those vibrations and energy make us who we are. Oh, hi. Hi, Lazavius. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful night. Thank you for the support. Oh, okay. So we just need one chart, Josh. We just need to pick one which we want to use. We could use hip hop. We could use African American nation, or we could use the US. So I just need one chart. And if you want to get your own birth chart, you can actually go to a website and like you go to Google and put in birth chart. I like AstroSeek is one that I like. I also like Astro Cafe. I was gonna do Hip Hop Judy, but we have hip hop tomorrow. But we could look at it. All right. So while you're putting in your choices of chart, so really we tend to only look at like one part of our astrological chart. Mostly people are only looking at that sun sign because that sun sign is like what you get in horoscopes and stuff, and it's like a game, it's like fun game. But really what it is that as an individual, it's like you have these layers of vibration that make you who you are. And so, like, if this green is your life path number, so here's one vibration that is making up who you are. And then you also have like your name. And then you could also have, as part of your vibration, or you do really have, is like what's in your DNA. So your DNA actually holds a lot of the energy and vibration of like your ancestors and like their vibrational experiences. That's held within you and is part of what makes up who you are. Um ah well, what why don't that's actually a good point, Josh. So why don't we look at the US chart? We'll look at the US chart, and then maybe another week on Friday, we can look at the interaction between the US chart and the African American chart. So you can actually see how one is impacting the other and how they're vibrating together. That might be cool. Anybody else? Anybody else got a strong opinion? Okay, cool. I'll wait and see if there's anybody else in the chat. All right, so we have like life path number, you have your name, you have your DNA and like your ancestors. Um, so you basically have, I can't think of what else could go in here, but you have all of these things that are layered together. The another example you could relate to would be like music. So you know when you look at music, um, where it actually has, what is this called? Musicians, isn't it like the staff? Um, and then you have like your different notes. Ew, I don't know why I drew it like that. You have your different notes, but then you also have like the speed. So if it's like three fourths, whatever, and then you have so this is like the beat, and you have like all of this, and then you have whether it's uh strong or short, yes, and you have whether it's major or minor. Yes, Josh. So what it basically is happening is all of those vibrations are coming together like a piece of music. So it's like you're a piece of music. And so like I know what else we could put here. So like this could be like your moon phase when you were born. Your moon phase when you're born actually sets the tempo. It sets how um fast or slow your vibration wants to move. And then it could be that like all of these different vibrations are working together. So it's like, okay, this set a note is like the vibration of your name. I'm trying to get the colors to match. And then you have like this note is like your life path number vibration. And then you have like this note is like your DNA, your ancestors' vibration. And so if you're just looking at one of these, you're not actually getting the full song. You're not getting the full vibration of the whole song. So just like if we only look at the sun sign, that's the one I didn't put on here, is the astrology chart. That's funny. Ew, ew. Why does it look like that? No, go away. There you go. But this is your whole astrology chart. Oh my gosh. Not just the sun. So you can see if you're just looking at the sun sign, where the heck did it go? It just like flew away. And now what is happening? What is happening? What is going on? What is happening? I'm just glad I'm here with you all to see this madness that happens. This happens to me all the time. This kind of thing happens. Where just weird shit happens. Anyway, let me see if I can find it. Is this it? Oh, okay. Yeah, isn't that crazy? The sun did come out. There we go. So, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, is that if you're only looking at, so when you only look at your sun sign, um you're like not, it's not even that you're looking at a whole block of stuff. You're looking at like one little dot within your astrological chart. You're not even looking at like a whole note. You're like looking at this small little part, and that's not going to help you. And so it's really important to build all of these things and understand that all of these vibrations are working together to help you understand how you are vibrating, how you're made up, and this individual. It even is for any of my science lovers, it really is similar to how we have a genome, where this is like our vibrational genome, where each of these parts of it is like adding to the characteristics, it's adding to who we are, it's making us our most unique self. And then in conjunction with that is like, then we also have, and we hear this mostly in science, where we have the argument of like nature versus nurture. And so if this triangle that we have filled up with all of these vibrations is the nature, it's the vibrational genome, it's the vibrational who you are, then actually moving through those three different squares and gaining experience, because each of these are experience. This is going to be the nurture part. Experience. Um, this is how you are building on who you are. So there's parts of your vibrational being that just are who you are, but you can, through experience and learning, change how you present yourself and how you are vibrating in the world outside of yourself. How are you contributing your vibration to the world? And so we start with this youth phase, and this is where you're discovering your identity. So you're gathering experience from 0 until 27 to build up and establish a identity. And then you are having that identity tested as you move through the power square, which is from 27 until 54. And then you are now wielding that power from a place of pure experience, and that's in this wisdom phase, and that's from 54 to 81. And now with our super long life expectancies, you just keep continuing around. You keep continuing around. So like when we look at the US birth chart, that's another thing to keep in mind, that because the US as a country is so old, it has been around this cycle multiple times. Each time it's going through youth phase, now it is being challenged in building on its identity. And actually, the US, so here at this point in youth, is when the US will be 250 years old. And I think that's actually next year or the year after. I think the US is right about here right now. And so as you're going through, you can continue on. So like even like hip hop, who is still on its first traveling around here. It's over here in power. It's about to, oh my gosh, move into wisdom for the first time. But because it's a culture, it's a group of people, it can also continue around this multiple times. Oh, hi, Lex. Okay. Well, you came in at perfect time because we're talking about how to be able to use your birth chart. So that'll be perfect. Hi, Jude. Thanks for being here. Hey, you'll add his name when it's time. You know it. You know it'll just happen like randomly. Thanks for being here. Okay, so let me recap real quick before we actually look at this birth chart. So it's important to remember that your birth chart is only one small part of the vibrations that make you who you are. And it's important to use this information, use these vibrations to really learn about yourself, because you are needing to, we have all this life is to really learn about ourselves and how we energetically and vibrationally contribute to the bigger world. Yes. Yeah, exactly, Josh. Exactly. And so we have this center part of like these vibrations that are making up who we are. But then as we go out into the world, so we are born, we go out into the world, and now we are using these vibrations, this triangle, to have experiences. We're building up experiences. We are learning about ourselves more as we go through these experiences, and we are seeing how to use our energy and vibration in the world, and how we can move with awareness and intention to, in the youth, build your identity, empower, go through identity tests so that you can make your identity stronger, and then build legacy by sharing the wisdom of your experiences. This is like the general purpose for us all. Like, we're not here for no reason. And it's similar to how, because you can even see that these go on cycles of 9. So it's similar to the 9 cycles. So when I talk about 9 cycles being used to build up the energy, that's what's happening here. We're starting here with our base energy of what we come into the world with. And then we're going through multiple 9 cycles, because this is 0 to 9, and then 9 to 18, and then 18 to 27. So we're going through these multiple 9 cycles to build up the energy around our identity, around that core vibration of who you are. And that's what's making you complete. That's what's creating this life cycle. Okay, let me make sure I catch up in the chat, and then we will grab the US birth chart to start looking at and playing around with. Okay, Judy. Just checking, just checking. Okay, Lex. So as we're going to look at the US birth chart, and anybody, so Lex and anybody else that wants to look at their birth chart at the same time, now is the time to pull it out. You can also go on Google and just look up a birth chart calculator. I like using AstroSeek. So if you put in like birth chart, there should be like an AstroSeek is a good one. Also, Astro Cafe is another good one to be able to get your birth chart. So you can put that information in if you want to look at your own while we talk about it. Don't be scared of your chart, Lex. We're going to look at it together, and then you can send me specific questions about yours. Yeah, that's why we're all here, Josh. We're all here to chit chat about it. Bring clarity to us all. All right, here we go. So let me go grab the US birth chart. Let me see, where is it? All right, so here is the US birth chart. And what I will say is, like, do not feel like you have to understand all of this. Um, it really is just a tool for you to learn yourself. And so there are certain like certain vibrations that just they help people know about themselves way more. Ah, yeah. Yeah. That's actually a good conversation. Let's see if it comes up in here. This one's fancy. This one I got from AstroSeek. You see it up there in the corner? It tells you right here. So if you want a fancy one, I guess you could go to AstroSeek. No, I'm not a sponsor. They don't sponsor me. I'm not, you know, any of that. If they want to sponsor me, that'd be great. But AstroSeek, I really like because they have lots of chart options and they're pretty clear and helpful. Okay, so remembering that each of these planets and asteroids are just giving part of the information that we need. It's giving like part of the vibration. And so, like, I actually sometimes listen to, I know this is going to sound random, but it's not. It's relevant, I promise. I sometimes listen to the sound of the planets help me relax and sleep because the planets actually do make noise. And then it helps me to think about, if you're looking at this whole chart, it's all of these humming together. And that note is what is the vibration that's adding to who you are when you look at your birth chart. Okay. So, you know what? And now, like, I'm watching, let me look in the chat, make sure I'm like on. Yeah. Yeah. So, remember though also that your birth chart, your life path number, any of these vibrations are neutral. And so that means they can come across in any way. And they can be used in multiple ways. It's only when we are interacting with a vibration from a certain perspective that now it becomes like a positive or a negative. All of them are neutral. And so when you're looking at your birth chart, remember that they are neutral. None of this is good or bad. All of these have good, what would be deemed as good and bad aspects, because all of these are neutral. Yes, Lex, it's because you are. You are. Okay. So we always start by looking at our big three. And so on your chart, you have planets, And you also have points that are measured. It's like because this all contains geometry as well and measurement, like in trigonometry. And so our rising is actually one of these points. It's basically where the earth is in its movement at the time that you're born. And so that's one of our big three. Your rising is how you present yourself to the world. So it's like world presentation. This is usually what everybody sees first. This is what you use to make first impressions and to interact with people at the very beginning of learning and meeting them. We then also have the sun. And your sun is your mind. How is your mind working? And so here, well, we'll get into that. And then we have the moon. And it's interesting looking at this US chart, because then this even more emphasizes how these are neutral, because they can come across in a lot of different ways. And so the sun, moon, and rising are the big three that you're using and that you can connect with on a like daily basis. So the sun is your mind, it's how your mind works. The moon is your heart, it's how your emotions work. And your rising is how you're presenting yourself to the world. And they work together. And so if you're getting too much into one, you can move into another one or use the others to help you. And so for this US chart, the rising is in Sagittarius. So that means that its world impression is of being the philosopher or the teacher. That's how it's presented to the world, to the rest of the world. Yeah, this one is AstroSeek. You're good, Lex. Um, so the rising is for the US is really coming across as the philosopher, the teacher. That's like the first impression. But the way the mind works is as this Cancer sign, where Cancer is the mother. It is a nurturer. But here is one of the places where the mind is working in the way of how is it nurturing itself and others around it. But that nurturing can change based on what it values. Ew, I spelled nurturer all kinds of weird. It might be right, but who cares? Anyway, it's how it, so you nurture what you value. And so the mind of the United States is really thinking a lot about how it can nurture what it values. Its heart its emotions. Like this is so crazy. I've looked at this before, but every time I do, it just like is so crazy because the US's heart, like what how it feels and how its feelings work, are in Aquarius, which is the rebel, which makes sense. So it gets very emotional about being a rebel. But also in Aquarius is of the people and for the people and by the people. And so then isn't that interesting that it gets all up in its feelings about the people? Okay. So let me see what you guys have if you have any questions on these. Okay, so you're getting the charts. Okay. Oh, okay, just so we're talking about, this is the US birth chart. So we're just talking about how to read our own birth charts so that you can find out information about yourself. And then I see Julie. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So Pisces, Taurus, and Virgo. Um, it just depends on which is with which, Jude. So, um, your whichever one is your rising, that's how you're presented in the world. That's what you see first. Your sun is how your mind works. It's how you are thinking, and then the moon is your heart. It's how your emotions work. And so all of these, it's to give you information about yourself so that you can know, you can understand your vibrations, so you can have awareness of your own vibrations, so then you're able to move into the world and use those vibrations with intention. So awareness first and then intention. Yes. Yes. Yes, you're right, Josh. Isn't it interesting to be able to look at this? Yeah, you're welcome, Josh. No, Ruffle. You're not an awful parent. So my rising is in Cancer. And so what's first presented to the world and how I best connect outside of myself is with being the nurturer, being the mother. Um the way that you, this means if you have a Cancer sun, then that means you probably are actually a very very good mother, because Cancer is the mother. It is so this nurturer, it is the mother. And so you are thinking, your mind is thinking as a mother and as a nurturer, similar to the United States, but again, it's what you value. So if you value and you love your kids, then you're going to be a great parent, a great mother. But the US values some very different things. But you can also look through history, because remember, each time the US has gone through those three parts of the cycle, it's adding to and changing its identity. So where at the time of birth it was really nurturing, and it really valued like its freedom, and everybody gets to be whoever they want to be, as it has gone around now that value maybe hasn't shifted, but it's become warped. and very different. So no, you're not the US. You're not the US. That's also where this comes in, where all of these are neutral. And so we have the positive and what we would think or perceive as positive and negative aspects in each one of these of both. So let's see. Okay, Ju. So it's sun, moon, rising. Okay. So your mind works like a Pisces, which means so Pisces is the area of imagination, like very big imagination and actually spirituality. So it's thinking very much in a very big imaginative way, where probably a lot of times the way you think, people are like, what, why did you think like that, how is that coming up like that? But Taurus is really, it's grounding your emotions. So Taurus is about, it actually is the sign of value and beauty. So your emotions, your heart, very much radiates and attaches to what you find as beautiful. Like, it's hard for you to attach your emotions to something that you don't value or you don't think is beautiful. But that also makes sense. So your rising being Virgo means that people initially will think that the way you move through the world, because this is your first impression that you're giving, is very strategical, analytical, and can be perfectionistic. But in actuality, Virgo and Pisces are opposites. So while they first meet you and the first presentation you give can be like, I'm very strategical and very practical, but in actuality, the way your brain is working, and so when people really get to know you, then they get to see that imaginative side. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's a good question, Lex. So if you have, and actually, my youngest daughter has both her sun and her moon in Cancer. And so when you have the same sign there, it's it's a little bit harder to distinguish between the two. So it's like your mind and the way that you think is very much impacting your emotions, your heart, but also your emotions from your heart can impact your thinking. And so then you can use, really what you need to use is like your rising to help break that up or slow down to make sure that what is in your mind is truly in your mind and what is in your heart and your feelings is really in your heart. So it's just making that separation. In Gemini, it's really about that, um it's really about the communication, but communicating in a way where you're at like the same level as anybody, as everybody else. Yeah. No, that, I mean, I think we all at times feel misunderstood. Um there's some of us that feel that way more often, more often than others. Um but it's really about knowing yourself, so then you can connect with people in a way um that you are finding those that are going to accept you and know you for your true vibrations. That makes sense. Okay, let me catch up. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right, Josh. And that like thought process, that is Gemini. Gemini and Sagittarius are our thinkers. Those are our thinkers. So when you have your mind in either one of those, that's where it's thinking. But Gemini is like it's more like broad thoughts, so like making thinking and connecting between a lot of different things, whereas Sagittarius is deep thought. So it's like going real in depth. That's why it's the philosopher. So going very in depth in its thinking. Gosh, Ruffle. That's actually hilarious. Yes, there's actually other reasons why people have issues with the mother energy, and it's not because of the Cancer energy in the chart. It's actually because of the moon. So your placement of the moon, especially in relation to some of the other planets, um can tell you a lot about how your mother has impacted your life, um, and your interaction with your mother. I don't think that has anything to do with having a Cancer son though, because I don't know. At this point in life, after I've raised my own babies, I it would be hard to get me to adopt and bring anybody in. I would, send, yes, thoughts and prayers. I can't, I can't do it. Okay, so what you need to do, Lex, is look at one at a time. So, like, a really good way to use your birth chart to get to know yourself is pick one at a time, because there's going to be aspects, there's going to be parts of like the sign that connect with you and those that do not. And so um that's how it's going to help you to know yourself. Oh, welcome back, Chico. So pick one at a time and really dig in and begin to um understand how it relates to you. What parts of it resonate for you, which fit what fits with your story and which do not. So I would actually pick, so I actually did go through uh, this process where I picked one planet in my birth chart and I studied it for 2 days. I looked up in that sign, I looked up in that house. We're not even going to get into the houses today because this is already going to be a long one. Um, I did all this research on what it meant, and I pulled out the pieces that made sense for me, that would help me know myself, because that's really the most important part, is to know yourself. So these are your big three. So start here looking at these. Okay, let's see. it yes, Rumple, exactly. Exactly. It is the mother to everybody. And how much more nurturing can you get but 69? It is very much the mother energy. And one thing that I want everybody to see is that regardless if you have a planet in any of the signs, we all have all of them. We all have every single sign. So all of them are coming together to help in the weaving of your vibrations of who you are. Okay, cousin B, let's look at this. So your sun is in Virgo. So the way your mind works is very much it's very strategical and analytical, like breaking things down and finding all the parts and pieces. Um but it could tend towards perfectionism. So it might be hard for you to get your brain to stop until things are perfect. Um, and so that's that Virgo mind. Then you have a Cancer moon, and that makes a lot of sense because then that means that your emotions are very much attached to this mother energy and this nurturing. So, what you are very much a nurturer when you care. If you don't give a fuck, you don't get that nurturing. But when your feelings are attached to somebody or something or a group, then you're very nurturing. You will put that nurturing energy in because that's how your heart works. And then that Scorpio rising. So Scorpio is deep emotion. It's your deep emotional state. And yes, Scorpio energy is very much sexual energy. Again, we all have it in there. It's part of being human. But this actually is kind of funny, cousin B, because having that rising in Scorpio, it means that your first impression can be like your first impression can be very much like of Casanova is a good way of putting it. Like, oh, Casanova is the first impression that people can get. But that's not fully who you are. That's that's very interesting. Oh, yeah, that's right, Lex. So your moon is in Scorpio. So it just means that your heart, so your heart spaces and your feelings go very deep into that space. That's all it means. It just means that like the way your feelings work, like you have to have very deep connections. And when you connect, you could connect very deeply. Um yes, and very intensely. So you have to be extra careful about how you connect and who you connect with. Okay. So we're learning some things. We're learning some things. So these are the first. These are like the top three. So instead of just looking at your sun, so if we were only looking at our sun, then we're only looking at how the mind works. And if we think about like this is the chart for the United States, if we were like, oh, the United States is Cancer, it should be very nurturing. You're not getting the full picture. Definitely not. So at least with these three, you're beginning to get more of a fuller picture because these are like the big three: how your mind is working, how your heart and your emotions are working and vibrating, and then how you're being presented into the world. So, another way of thinking about this is that when you are connecting to outside of yourself, so to another person or to the world in general, you have to realize that the world is seeing that rising first. So if you're trying to connect and convey something about like how you're thinking or something about how you're feeling, it has to go through that rising. And so it's really important to understand how that's working and what that looks like, because that's where a lot of like miscommunications or like assumptions can be made. So even just knowing these three about yourself can be very helpful. Very, very helpful. Man, it's getting late. It's like hella late. Okay, let me point out a few more planets and then we can continue this conversation. We can look at this more. Um because I do want to get to Judy's numbers. So, then some of the other ones that are interesting to be able to look at is so your we talked about Chiron here in December. So your Chiron, this is your deepest wound. It's the areas of life, it's the parts of you that hold the deepest wounds. That's Chiron. Chiron looks like a weird little key. It has like a circle and then it has like this key thing on top, like this. Whoop, whoop. Kind of like that. So if you're looking at your chart, that's where you would find it. So Chiron is your deepest wounds. These are like these very deep set wounds that you're supposed to be working through. These actually really help you to know yourself. And so when we were talking about Chiron in December, where here in December we have an opportunity to like face some of these wounds and to heal some of these wounds. That's what Chiron can help you do. So what's interesting is the United States here has Chiron in Aries. Aries is in the area, it's the area of I am. So it is around identity. So the deepest wounds that the United States has to work through and inflicts on others is around identity, around who you are. So very interesting that the deepest wounds for the United States, and when you don't recognize your deepest wounds. So here it's like the United States always wanting to look good, have a good impression, wanting its identity to not include any of the negative aspects of that identity. But all of that is part of this wound that needs to be healed. All right, let me catch up in chat. Yeah, you all better watch out. Cousin B might come across as a Casanova to begin with, but that Virgo could lash out. Thing is dangerous. Okay, Judy, what's the so Lex, your Chiron is in Taurus? Okay, mine is too. So I'll talk about that in a minute. Judy, for you, those three, Taurus, Aquarius, Gemini, um, what order is that in? Like sun, moon, rising? Which of those is which? Um, does it, Josh? Does it? Yeah, it very much does. Because hip hop actually has its Chiron in Aries as well. Okay, Judy. So sun, moon, rising. So your sun in Taurus um really is, so your mind works around what it values and what you consider beautiful. So like your definition of beautiful. Like that's how it works. That's what it most connects to and how it operates. Your moon in Aquarius means you have very rebellious emotions. You can very much have your emotions attached in one place one day and somewhere else another day. But if you know that, then you can really work with that energy. And your rising could actually help because your rising is, so you come across very much as a Gemini communicator, where it's communication on the same level. So it's like student to student communication, but also the mind. So working the mind or the thoughts in a lot of different areas. That's very interesting. So you should be able to tell, and this is really true for all of us. Once you know those big three, you can tell which one you're operating out of. So if you know that like your heart is operating out of Aquarius, like Judy, then when you are feeling like you need to go the other direction, you need to do something unexpected, you need to rebel, that's usually coming from a heart space. And to be able to balance that out, you could then shift into like the mind space. Okay. Oh no. Danger. Danger. That's so funny. Um okay, so then Chiron in Taurus. So my Chiron is also in Taurus. Taurus is around what you value, and actually, money is also in the Taurus space. So, having your deepest wounds in Taurus is very much about having to deal with your relationships around what you value. So what do you consider valuable, and how do your wounds in those areas impact your life and how you're inflicting wounds on others? And so myself and Lex and anybody else that has Chiron in Taurus, when we get to, I think it's mid year 2026, is when Chiron will start actually being in Taurus. And so all of those wounds are going to open up and be more clear. And we'll have to work through them. But you could probably actually look at, for any of these, you could probably look at your life, see where your areas of, it's it is struggle. Um it can be seen as struggle, where your areas of most struggle is, and that's probably where your Chiron is. That's probably where your Chiron is. Okay, Josh. Yeah. So you have, so this is sun, moon, rising. So sun is in Gemini. So the way that you think is as a Gemini. So you think very broad, and it's very much about communicating. Um, that pieces gets me every time, cracks me up. Um, yeah, I love it. It's so funny. Um, so your mind really operates in that Gemini way, where it's very relational, it's very communicative, um, but it's thinking on like a more broad. It's like uh small talk is more Gemini, whereas Sagittarius is more of that deep thinker, deep conversation. You can get into the deep conversation with your mind, but the small talk is where where you are best, where your mind works best. Then Libra is your moon. My moon is also in Libra. And so that means your emotions are very attached to what is fair. What do you see as justice? Because that's that Libra space. What do you think is fair? How do you, is it like, um, you potentially could be like, oh, this is not fair. That is not fair. um, that's from that heart space. And then your Pisces or pieces, um, as rising is like, so your first impression can be as first impression. So when people have rising and Pisces, they're very imaginative, but they're imaginative in a way where people could think you're an air cadet. Like, woohoo! Like you're really out there. But that's not really how you are. It's just that first impression. Because Pisces is like if you think about um all of outer space, that's Pisces. You think about the imagination. The imagination can be so big. That's Pisces. And so it can come across as like jumping around, and but for you it's like all right there. It all just makes sense together in pieces. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Okay. It is getting so late, and even though it's like a Friday, I am going to like pass out. Wouldn't that be, what would you all do? What would you do if I just like fell asleep on live? I talk in my sleep too. So who knows what you'd find out. So remember that everybody has all of these signs. Um It's just a matter of where these planets are placed. Your top three that you want to pay attention to is your sun, because that's your mind. It's how your mind works. Your heart is your moon, and your rising is really that first presentation to the world. And we'll talk about all the rest of these. It's this is just so, and we'll continue with this US birth chart, because it's also, I think, interesting for us to be able to look at the country, because that gives us some ways to be able to see, to like clearly see um the positives and the negatives of each of these vibrations. Because when it's not attached to people, it's usually easier to see that. But this is all supposed to be for you. This is all how your different vibrations are layering together to make you who you are, to make how you move through the world and connect with other people and interact with other people and the world in general. Interesting. Okay. So, oh, you're welcome, Josh. Yeah, that's a really good description, Lex. Yeah. So let's go to our little list here. If I can find it again. Ooh, that was good. It's good when it actually works. Okay, so we talked some about birth charts, but we'll talk more. So I think it's actually good that we didn't get through everything, because we got the most important pieces in that you're under beginning to understand that it's all of these vibrations woven together. So take some time and study your sun, study your moon, study your rising, study your name, study your life path number, and you certainly can ask me questions, because it's learning about these things and how they work together to understand how you vibrate, how you work, and how you are going out into the world. That's a good question, Judy. Yeah, so there's several different things that people have said about those degrees, because each sign has about 30 degrees in it. And so it can mean a couple of different things. It's the way that I see it is the degrees is helping to two things. One, understand how the vibrations are woven together. And we can go deeper into that another day. But the one I think that makes the most sense for people is that um, it's how much of that vibration is included in your overall vibration. So, any of your planets that are like, say, they're at 25, that's going to have more. It's not like better, it's just like more of the vibrations, because you're getting to the end of that vibrational state. So, kind of like how we've talked about, like, where because we're coming to the end of 2025, that energy is very much ramping up, where it's like, all right, you gotta get to it now, get to it now. And so it's bigger lessons. It's like more in there to be able to have to work through. So ask me that again when we're looking at the birth charts again, and we can actually look at some of those degrees in that US chart, and I could explain it more and explain it better. But hopefully that generally answers your question. Because the degrees also give us those aspects. So the aspects, so like the lines you see on your charts, those are the aspects. That's how the different planets are relating to each other and connecting with each other. And those depend on the degrees as well. Okay, so New Beginnings said to save this for another day or in Discord. So I don't want to cross it out because we didn't do it. So I'll just circle it for later. And then let's see if I can grab. Come on. Nope. 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 All right, let's try this. All right, we'll just grab all of that. Boop. Okay, that's the direction we're going in? I guess so. We're going in this direction. Woohoo! All right. So then let's erase some of this stuff we don't need, and let's look at these numbers from here. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Here we go. Okay, good. I'm glad that answered your question. That's funny, Rump. That's funny, Ruffle. Oh my gosh. You're right, Josh. You're very right. Okay, so let's look at these vibrations. So we have 261, 212, 551, and 999. So, the first thing is that this 999, this is very much just an attention getter. This is to get your attention. And it actually brings your attention, Judy, but actually all of our attention, because you've brought it here for us to look at together. It brings our attention to this 999, this 9 energy coming to an end. So it's like it's not just getting your attention, but it's giving a, hey, this is a very important announcement. Saying, hey, this energy is getting ready to end. We're coming to the end of this 9 energy. And so we're needing to make sure that you are ending things or shifting things that need to end or shift in all of these different areas of life. It is getting your attention, but this is like it's bigger than just getting your attention. It's like, come on now. Come on now. Recognize, get your attention to recognize, hey, we're in December. This means that we have this month to be able to use this 9 energy that has been building up all year and has really been ushering in these changes, these shifts, these endings. So now is the time to make sure to do that. Oh, yeah, definite drum roll. Yeah. So that's that one. I don't think there's any more to that. I mean, there is more to that, but the way that it's coming through right now with these other vibrations, that's really what this is. It's drawing the attention. Um, this 551 is catching my eye. One, because it is another one of these that adds up to 11 too, but also because this 551 is a mirror image to 155. And this 155 is the numeric vibration of authenticity. A whole bunch of other stuff, and I actually have a whole video on it because this also is the numeric vibration of poetic justice. So this vibration is coming in, and it's probably more actually like this. It's in this way, where it's coming through as the reflection. It's coming through as the reflection because what this vibration is holding is, yes, it's these changes, but when you have these two fives together, now this is 55 is the numeric vibration of the word karmic. So this is karmic change. This is like that big, huge change that needs to happen because of the energy that has come back around. Very much needing to recognize. So, in the reflection, see this energy that has come back around and that is asking for these changes, these karmic changes to happen so new energy can come into the space. And with this new energy, then it's helping to end dualism. It's ending dualism here. So that's with the ending of dualism. It's showing you, and because this is coming up here in December, where we saw that the mirror is actually reflecting what is to come in the future. So if we think about this 551 as part of the vision, the future vision, what is getting reflected, is it's basically saying that this new energy that's coming in, and it definitely feels like this new energy is 2026, or at least begins in 2026. This new energy that's coming in is meant to really help bring this karmic change. Because also, this 55 also adds up to 10 and to a 1. So when that karmic change is made, now we're getting a lot of new energy. The new energy that's coming in is helping to make this karmic change. So it's basically telling you, look, this is like how we've talked about tower moments, where you can take it upon yourself to recognize this energy that has come back around in your life and the changes that you need to make because of what's come back around. That's that karmic change. So that you can contribute to this new energy that's coming in and coming in without dualism, or is going to happen for you. Or in the future, this new energy is going to come in whether you like it or not, and it's going to force some of this karmic change. Very interesting. Okay, okay, Rumpel. I could take that because if nobody's getting anything for Christmas, then that means I could get something for my birthday. Oh, that's funny. Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting one. Yes. Mirrors are very important. Very important to recognize those mirrors. With this one, these feel very individual. They don't feel like they're working together. You know, where we've had other ones where we needed to add them up because they're working together. This one doesn't feel like that. This is another this is another 5. But more than that, what it's making me think of is that this is another one of those parallel vibrations where I think we've talked about like 221 and like 122. Yeah, like this is another one of those parallel vibrations here, where basically it's this 5 energy. It's coming in the form of needing to end dualism. So new energy can come in, and depending on where that one energy is placed, it's either helping to promote the ending of dualism, or it's a result of the ending of dualism. And in this case, I need a different color. I need a different color. Here we go. In this case, this is a portal. So by ending dualism in multiple areas of life, and it very much feels like these multiple areas of life have been pulling you back and forth. And part of it is because you're not ending dualism in those areas of life specifically. And so, once this dualism is ended in these areas of life, it makes it so these twos are wanting to be near each other. So it's creating this like whirlpool motion, and that's bringing forth this new energy. And a lot of the change, a lot of those 5 energies that you have been getting, Judy, have contained that too. Like they've come from a 2, like with a 3, or like this 221 or 212. So there's definitely something around stopping the push and pull. And it very much is feeling like not just for you, but for multiple people and maybe all of us, that this push and pull between couple of things, what we do for ourselves versus what we do with others, that there should not be a push and pull between those two. There should be a way that you can do both without getting caught up in the back and forth, but also around who we are and how we present ourselves to the world. Where there's no more, there's not, it's not even just that there's no more reason to be like one way over here and another way over there. It's that we are not meant to anymore. So, where it was important for survival in the past to be like one way at home and one way at work, no more. It's time for us to step into our most authentic self. So we are the same across the board, everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. Oh, yes, Josh, you're right. I did. You're very right. That's actually funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it does, and it all aligns. Oh my gosh. Okay. But you see, once you start, like, we think that all of these lyrics have so many layers and it's double, triple, quadruple entendres. But when you start tapping in to the vibration of the lyrics, then you see it's actually even deeper than we thought. And those, when you tap into the vibration, those are the messages of God or the messages of the universe coming through that person or through that song. Hey, it's 11:11 somewhere. I love you. I just all the time. It's 11:11 somewhere. Love you. So let's break down this last one here. Because these all are acting independently. Um, so 261. So let's see. 261. So we again have this new energy coming in, and it's crazy with the time right now where we have lots of new energy coming in. So this new energy is coming in, and oh yeah, you're right. 61 is part of our wheel number because our wheel number is 661, right? Yeah. Yeah, so we might have to talk about this again tomorrow. But this is really new energy coming in and it's challenging the comfort zones. So, new energy that's coming in. And I think I saw a question. Yes, from Lex. So, yes. So, if you're thinking about um, a vibration of one, um, there are people that resonate at that vibration of one. But when we say that one is something new coming in, it's new energy. We're all energy, everything is energy. So something new coming in can be a person or a group of people. I didn't realize it, but actually, all of you came through very strongly as a one. Um, when I came in and became part of the Koalaholics and started this channel. So that one energy can be a lot of different things and it's very powerful and can be people. That's also what's kind of exciting about 2026, but also why we need to prepare for 2026 because there's going to be a lot of new energy. Okay, so we have this new energy coming in and challenging the comfort zones. Which of these comfort zones are working for you and are good? And which of these comfort zones should you not be comfortable with? And we've actually seen this a lot, not just this week, um, but a lot this year, where things that people are comfortable with that they should not be comfortable with has been on display this year. And that's this six energy. And then by confronting which of these comfort zones are good for your life and which are not, then that brings us again to this two of ending dualism. So by allowing this new energy to come in and examining those comfort zones and challenging those comfort zones, it allows dualism to end, and it gets us back to our nine energy of being able to fully end, bring to a full completion, but also to shift. So I would suspect that in December, we're going to encounter a lot more of this nine vibration. Not as much as like September. And it'll be a little bit different in that this nine energy really is like trying to get us to pay attention to we're about to shift. That and as we shift into 2026, the more we're able to use this nine energy while we're still in 2025, it's going to make that shift much better, and we'll get to enjoy more of this new energy. Because if you haven't ended things, and new energy comes in, then that's where you can get overwhelmed. But if you've ended and now are ushering in the new, now you get to just enjoy the new energy and how to work with it and what it brings. But we also have to remember that all of these vibrations are neutral. So there definitely can be new energy that comes in that is uncomfortable or does not feel like it's right for your life. But even then, you should be able to recognize it pretty quickly as new energy and be able to be aware and then intentionally move and work with it. Oh man, those were some good ones. You always have some good vibrational encounters, Judy. Okay, it is so late and I still need to eat dinner. I mean, I ate a little bit. I eat like a bird. I'm like pick, 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 eat all day. But then I get to like the end of the day and I'm fucking. So I definitely need to go eat. Um, think about. Let me find our. I don't know where the list is. Doesn't even matter. No, it doesn't. So tomorrow we'll be back tomorrow, and we'll be focusing in on hip hop, and we'll do a list, not these same things, but similar to this. So think about what you would like to talk about, what has happened in hip hop this week, what has come back up in hip hop this week, and we'll talk about all of that tomorrow. I'm going to catch up and chat real quick, so then you have some time to be able to say your goodbyes to each other. I'm sure we're still over in Twitch, and I'll be back over there. So anybody else that would like to come, please come. I will be there. I do. I love to dance in Twitch. It makes me happy. Okay, I'm catching up. All right. Yes. Yes, you all got it. Great. Thank you all for being here. If you didn't hit the like button on your way in, please make sure to hit it on your way out. If we didn't get to your numbers or something that you'd want to talk about, put it on a sticky note. Put it by your computer. Put it on your phone. Make yourself a note. Add it to your calendar invite for next Friday, and we'll talk about it. Thank you all so very much. I will see you shortly after I eat in Twitch. But if I don't see you there, I will see you tomorrow in tomorrow's live. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. Bye.